First, let's start with this case.
I feel so awful about this, but my husband has a habit of ignoring things I say. I WFH and am always there to unlock the front door for my husband when he gets back from work. So, the couple of times I've needed the car, I get very annoyed that he's taken the house keys attached to the car keys with him. This has happened a few times. Hell, lock all the house doors in the morning and go off to work with the car keys so I can neither leave the house nor drive anywhere. So I made sure we have 2 sets of keys, and the second pair must always be on the console table for emergencies. The problem is my husband started keeping the emergency keys in his work bag, and if he took the car anywhere, I was again locked in the house. This recently happened again when my family was coming over, and they stood at a locked door while I searched the house for his work bag. Today I woke up very unwell and wanted to run to the chemist between meetings and pick up a book I had on hold at the library when once again my husband has taken the car keys. What made me so angry was that I've told him this a million times, and I could have had a massive emergency. He was so calm and apologetic on the phone, but that just made me angrier. I'm sick of him never listening, so I lost it and demanded he come home immediately and drop the keys back because I need to go to the chemist. He started apologizing and saying he has a meeting at work about to start, but I told him this is not a discussion, and I expect him back home right now because I'm sick of repeating myself. He said he's on his way back, but I feel so awful for stressing him out while he's at work and making him take a 40-minute journey back. But I'm also so desperate to be heard the first damn time, exactly how I listen and respect his wishes. Am I an idiot? Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. The fact that you found a solution to this issue before, and your husband literally took it with him to leave you in the same crappy spot is wild to me. Like, is this a control thing? Hopefully driving home and being late for his meeting would help him remember next time. If not, I'd wake up early this weekend and leave him locked in the house without transportation for a day or two. No, you're not in the wrong. He obviously needs the car and access to the house at the end of the day. But I can't fathom the idiot who squirrels the second set in his bag knowing full well that A, he already has a set to himself, and B, there's someone still in the house when he leaves. That would have pissed me off too. And what kind of ignorant fool locks everything up if their significant other works from home? Every household with 2 people should have at least 3 sets of keys, 1 set each, and an extra set hidden somewhere that each person can find in emergencies. You're not in the wrong, but why not just keep the spare yourself? So he has one and you have one. Why insist on leaving it on the console table if he takes it? Also, why is he taking them when he already has a key? Is this guy trying to ensure you can't go anywhere? The whole thing is very strange from both sides. Next up, I, 25F, have been caught in the middle of my parents' messy divorce for years. My dad claims my mom cheated, but there's no evidence, and my mom denies it. Honestly, their marriage was extremely incompatible, and it was bound to end sooner or later. My dad took the divorce really badly, and my younger sister and I have always tried to be compassionate and understanding. However, after the divorce, he imposed this rule. We are never to meet or interact with any potential partner of my mom's spielenting. He made it clear that he doesn't want anyone else taking the role of dad. We disagreed but went along with it to keep the peace. However, during a recent conversation, he told me he expects us to follow this rule for the rest of his life. I was dumbfounded. I asked, even when I'm 40, married, and with kids of my own, am I still not allowed to meet someone my mom has been with for years if he makes her happy? He said yes. He then added that if I did, I'd stop being his daughter, and he would cut me out of his life entirely. I think his fear stems from feeling replaced, which I understand when we were younger. But at this stage in our lives, it feels absurd. It's not like a new partner would raise us, we're adults now. I told him I'm not willing to follow this rule forever, and if he chooses to cut me off for that, it will be his decision, not mine. He called it a lack of principles and insists I would be the one responsible for ending our relationship. I think this rule is controlling and unfair, and I refuse to let it dictate my life any longer, but I also don't want to lose my dad. Am I in the wrong for standing my ground? Let's start judging. My parents got divorced when I was 14. My father did exactly this. Rules after rules, demands after demands. My mom's new partner was not to visit her house or to meet us. We were not allowed to tell anyone anything about him. When moving away, he didn't want to meet if I stayed at my mom's place. And so on. I finally stopped talking to him at about 26. Definitely fit the best. Put your foot down now. This behavior will not stop by itself. If he escalates, it's his choice, but placating him only delays what will happen either way. You're not in the wrong, but you may not have the choice to refuse his dictate and keep a relationship with him. You can't really control what he does, just as he cannot control what you do. Choose the path that seems right to you. I will say, though, that you don't necessarily need to have this argument in the abstract right now, unless your mom is currently seeing someone she wants you to meet. You can wait until the situation presents itself, and then make the choice that seems right to you at that time. I don't mean not to think about it. I just mean arguing with your dad about something that might come up a decade from now may cause you a lot of years of borrowed grief. And you could skip that part if you want. You're not in the wrong. Standing your ground here isn't just about meeting someone. It's about setting boundaries with your dad. He's basically asking you to put your life on pause based on his feelings, which isn't fair. Life's too short to play the role of peacekeeper at the cost of your own happiness. Sure, it's tough because no one wants to lose a parent over something like this, but it's important to remember that relationships should add to your life, not control it. Stay strong. Next up, hey, so I went to Mexico on a girls' trip with two of my friends. We will call them Izzy and Rachel. And we had a pretty good time. When we were leaving our hotel, it seems like our phones just stopped working, like there was a blocker on them, so our GPS was not working properly. We drove down the street and not too far. There was a stop by the police, so we stopped to ask for directions. They noticed we were not locals and asked us to pull over to search the car. They found we had some disposable pens, which was like cool. We handed them over, not wanting any issues. They demanded that we pay a made-up fine or they would haul us to jail. When I told them I didn't have any cash, they ransacked through my purse until they determined that there was actually no cash. I'm the only person who didn't have cash. They did take all the money out of my friends' purses, which was a little over $330. We are back in the States, and they are asking that I reimburse the one friend $110 for the Mexican police fine. I keep telling them that it wasn't a real fine and it was a robbery. But my friend Izzy was telling me it would be considerate to reimburse Rachel of the money that was taken by the police. I refused to do so because, like you, act like I took your money or that it was an activity that we did and split. Am I in the wrong for not wanting to pay that back? Let me add the fact that I had to pay $140 just to get back to the airport, even after I paid for costs of a rental, because Izzy never read properly and told me there was free transportation. I never asked anyone to reimburse for it either. They used the rental to get to the airport, but nobody was willing to take me, even though I put money in it. I also told everyone to bring a disposable card as well as no cash. Let me add, I would have no problem if they have us a ticket, because that's how it was supposed to work, but they literally robbed us, so... Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. This happens all the time in MX. Why would you repay them for getting jacked? Did you jack them? Did you organize the crime? No. Okay, what is your friend's deal? Are they playing dumb to get money out of you? Or are they really stupid and don't understand that they got robbed? In any case, you're not in the wrong. You're not in the wrong. Unless it was something you demanded of your friends, the trip was mutual. You are not responsible for other people, simply because you didn't carry cash. Quick tip. Always have multiple cash stashes when heading into risky areas. Hollowed out shoes or hidden pockets. That way, if a gun is pulled, you can dump and run. Next up, hey guys! So I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years and he's absolutely wonderful. We're both in college and we live together with a couple other roommates. The place is my boyfriend's mom's vacation house and we all pitch in for rent. Every week, my boyfriend's mom stops by. I work at a restaurant, so I always get free chips and salsa to take home. My boyfriend loves spicy things, so I always grab him spicy salsa and I'll grab myself regular, as I can't handle spice. Now here's where it gets weird. I've been coming home and go to grab my salsa, and I notice that all of the salsa has been put into one container. This has been happening for months and results in me being unable to eat it. After asking everyone in the house, including my boyfriend who's been doing this, everyone was in denial about it. Just a couple weeks ago, I decided to get a security camera to see who's been messing with me and my salsa. Guess who is on the camera mixing the salsas together? His mother. So she's been showing up while everyone is gone, looking through our fridge and pulling out all sorts of items and going into our cabinet and getting a bigger container and putting the salsa together. I was not okay. For the longest time, I've been thinking it was my boyfriend messing with me. Needless to say, after accusing him for a long time, this led to a huge argument about how weird his mother is for coming into our space and messing with our stuff. She does this every time she comes over, and I've had enough. So I told my boyfriend to figure out why she's doing this. He calls her, and she says she's making space in our fridge, and she is not going to stop. So I'm now sitting here with all of my stuff packed and ready to get the heck out of here. But my boyfriend says I'm being an idiot about all of this. Guys, please tell me if I'm the idiot here. Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. I was honestly going to say you were right up until the end where the mom goes, I'm doing it, and I'm not going to stop. Bottom line, if she is like this now, she will be like this forever, and it doesn't look like the boyfriend is in any mind to try and make her stop. So it boils down to, can you live with your potential future mother-in-law doing this kind of thing to you for the rest of your life? If the answer is no, there's no reason to stick around. Break up, move out, find a relationship that you can live in, because it sounds like this one sure ain't it. Let's get it straight. This is not about salsa. You do not have a MIL problem. You have a boyfriend problem. Mid-50s here. Married for many years, almost 20. Early into our marriage, my parents stayed with us for a weekend. While my spouse and I were away, my mother took it on herself to rearrange our silverware drawer and its location in our kitchen, in the home we, spouse and I, owned. I saw it for the personal space violation that it was, and my parents never stayed with us again. My mother decided to fa, and she faux. You have a boyfriend problem, because he can't set boundaries with his mother. I strongly advise you to loop in your other roommates. I am sure they won't be thrilled about mommy going through their things either. Today the fridge, tomorrow your underwear drawer. Before you know it, she's poking pinholes in your condoms because she wants a grandchild. This is creepy AF, and your roommates need to know as well. BF is going to be sitting in mommy's house all alone.